Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I am going to be going to the Forbidden Battlefield, 4th Battlefield, to do the level 70 battle. And the goal here is to get the Seal Break achievement, where I'm beating it with 5 strategic master heroes. So, full disclosure, I've spent 2 hours trying to beat this with Pegasus Luna, and I just could not do it. So I've finally given up and I've changed my Pegasus Luna to a Bow Luna. The reason for this change is because early on you need to kill off these 2 Sky Archers, right? And they're both ranged enemies, so you need melee characters to do so. But after those 2 are dead, there's nothing but melee characters. And in addition, there's 2 gargoyles that apply cannot be healed effects on you by a death mark. So there was absolutely no way to survive that. In other words, with Luna as a bow character or as a Pegasus master, because if you have Leon and Bow Luna try to melee attack, they get ripped up. Frankly and simply, they get ripped up. They take damage, and then if you're getting applied with cannot be healed debuffs, it just does not work out. Okay. I did try using Wowler with defense support, right? To give my characters immunity to defense negation debuffs, but I didn't have enough healing to survive even while doing that, right? So because these enemies hit so hard, right? They have extremely high attack, so 2 attacks is guaranteed to kill off a character, which basically made this impossible. Long story short. So I have to go back to the drawing board, and what I thought about was that Bow Luna can range attack, especially with an Uller's bow at 3 range, to weaken enemies and hit them and just avoid taking damage in general. So that's the strategy I'm going to rely on instead. And by also doing this, I no longer have to bring Wailer, who would be a healer, and instead I can throw in another damage dealer. And the damage dealer of choice would be a magic attacker, because of these cuttlefish and aquatic generals having such ridiculous high defense, especially when they tidal surge up or are in water. So in terms of good characters, good mages, of course there's not that many mages for strategists in the first place. In fact, there's really just 2, right? Imelda and Egbert. Of course, if I turn on, let's say, the Demon section as well, and Holy section, then you get a few more. Like Geralt and Layla could be really good here, because he can attack, dispel debuffs, and possibly heal, right? And of course, the fairly new Kurama would make a strong damage dealer here as well. So actually, I would say overall though, Egbert may actually be the best one, simply because he can do fixed damage, right? Enemies in these maps are incredibly vulnerable to fixed damage, and Egbert's talent is fixed damage. He can have equipped Hellfire Archers that do 15% max hit points and fixed damage. So, and Kurama is similarly good because he does also have quite a bit of fixed damage in his skills. He can attack at 3 range when he activates his secondary form, and yeah, so I would say these 2, Egbert and Kurama, are the best, are pretty much required. So I'm actually going to equip up my Egbert before I begin. And that is fairly simple. I'm simply going to take the gear from Lana and throw it onto my Egbert. And then finally, I should mention that my Egbert is actually not fully class mastered either. So we'll see if this works. Yeah. It's going to be close whether my Egbert can do enough damage. It's going to be reliant on the fact that I have very high ints from these enchants and whatnot, right? Because in terms of class mastery, he is only at 2 out of 4. So he's missing 2 more levels, as well as the class mastery bonus stats, right? As well as having class mastery enchant stats. So he's actually missing quite a bit of intelligence now that I look at this. But I will actually raise him up to level 70 and we'll go from there. So there we are. Let's jump in and get started. And fingers crossed that he will have enough intelligence to do good damage for me. Whew, that was a long introduction, but it just goes to show I really have been struggling with this map quite a bit. As I said, I spent 2 hours, got to like turn 4, but kept dying there, and now I finally gave up. So I've now swapped in Egbert, and I'm also going to bring Snipe. The thing I should mention is my party is actually quite poorly upgraded. Well, Luna, Ultimuller, Luna and Leon are fully upgraded. Ultimuller is so-so. He does have a last rites from Zerida here. And then Olivier does not have his attack bond whatsoever. That's why his attack is only a 624, which is a shame because Olivier, a properly built Olivier with double class mastery, can definitely one-shot these Sky Archers, or one-shot these Gargoyles for sure. And actually, I think Olivier needs a weapon too. Sorry. So this is taking a little bit to configure. Actually, I'm going to talk about Luna briefly. So Luna, in brief, has just 54 magic defense increase with 21 skill. And gear-wise, Uller's broken set. Uller's bow with King's Crown. I'm losing 5% magic defense here, but it's fine because the Uller's bow extra range is more important. Yeah. And then finally, Olivier will be here to assist primarily, and I need a bow for Olivier, which is going to be stolen from just Zerida. Yeah. So there we go. Breeze set, 15% attack. Let's just jump into the fight and hopefully get this finished at this point. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe how much I struggled with this battle. Alright, so I'm gonna have to reconfigure my party, which means first I'm going to switch to the strategist team and show mages or demon units. Okay, there we go. Egbert is in place. And the other changes I'm going to make is first, I'm going to move Olivier here, because this way he can move down and excitation will affect everyone, including Ultimuller when Ultimuller moves forward. And the final thing is, for Leon, instead of bringing 1000 Hooves like I did for the level 60 version, I'm going to choose to bring Chivalry again. So Chivalry, Assault, and Legion. And with that, let's begin. So now, the start is pretty much the same as the level 60 version. Ultimuller, Tactical Mastery to start. Then I'm going to have Luna, Wind God Realm, attack and retreat. So that will dramatically weaken the Sky Archer. And then Egbert needs to get excitation. So let's do that. Next, Egbert now is going to move up and toss out a fireball on the cuttlefish. Doesn't do much damage, but then fixed damage, Raging Inferno, that's what adds most of my damage. Right. And finally Leon can run all the way up to finish off this dramatically weakened Sky Archer without even using Chivalry or Assault. And I'm just going to back up my Leon that way. So this northern Sky Archer comes charging down and I avoid it entirely. And now my goal is relatively simple. I need to get rid of this cuttlefish. So let's take a look at what I should do. So I need to also avoid this aquatic general. That's the other part of this. As long as I complete those two tasks, I'm good to go. So why don't I start with a Dark Reaper attack this time on the Cuttlefish to start. Relying on the fixed damage and Raging Inferno to dramatically weaken this Cuttlefish. Alright, so it actually didn't die, which is not a good thing. 597 hit points. It means my Egbert needs a tiny bit more intelligence for this to work. Oh, that's annoying. But we'll make do. So for this next step, I think I'm gonna have to have Luna range attack the Sky Archer in the north to start. Why don't I buff up Leon? Right. So that way, Leon has a chance to annihilate that Sky Archer. And north, assault, down it goes. And I'm going to turn on the danger zone here, and why don't I place Leon all the way back here for now. And then Olivier could finish the Cuttlefish. And finally, let's just have Alter Muller, activate Strong Arm, and we're good to go. Interesting, I was in range of that tentacle, but fortunately they don't attack. So, now in the south, I need to weaken the enemies as much as possible, hopefully even kill it. And that's my goal. Right. So let's start with Luna. Actually, let's start with Egbert with the fireball, because he does the fixed damage, right? So that would rip up the soldiers. And also silence. Bonus. So Alter Muller needs to probably tank a hit from this guy, who is going to use Tidal Surge. So I'm not going to try attack with Alter Muller if at all possible. So let's have Luna snipe. And Alter Muller just move up. And Olivier can snipe as well. Finishing off that guy. And then Leon, this is why I got Chivalry on my Leon. He can Chivalry and get the hell out. GTFO. So why don't I run up Chivalry and keep running. Alright, so then Leon is going to try to disengage by running even further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here then, I just need to crush this guy. So, same kind of attack order. Egbert to start. Luna to follow. And Olivier to finish up. And Ulte Muller clearly needs to faction buff up my Leon so that he can run away yet again. Alright. Perfect. So, I'm gonna wait for them to come to me. Especially since Leon is going to... I believe this guy has Tentacle, so I have to be careful about that too. Right. But I believe they'll come running to my area anyways, so I don't have to worry too much about that. I'm going to excitation here. Mainly to heal up Luna. I'm going to have Ulte Muller faction buff up. And I'm going to have Leon run like a maniac towards the south. Here they come. And now to crush them. So I'm just simply going to have Luna, who has the damage dealt plus 20%, use her snipe attack and one-shot a gargoyle. And might as well buff up Olivier with that. And then I'm going to have Olivier range attack this gargoyle. But before I do so, I think I'm better off having Egbert Fireball. Or Dark Reaper. Doesn't really matter, right? The point of that was to weaken it enough so that Olivier's range attack could finish it. And at this point, right, well, let's move Ulte Muller all the way up and have him strong arm. And I'm pretty confident in Leon attacking too. And maybe surviving, but that's a risk I don't necessarily have to take. So, you know, I can just place him right here for now. Alright. Tentacle is used on my Olivier, but since he has last rites, he survives with no issue. And now we just need to finish off the Cuttlefish. So Egbert still has 4 movement, he moves up, uses his Dark Reaper, fixed damage like crazy. 1, 2, and then now it's just mop up. So, no. Wind God Realm. Range attack. And the finisher, I guess. There we go. So, I suppose I should go over my party in detail. That actually got the strategic seal break as well as proof of victory. So now I just have to do Princess, which is significantly easier, especially now that I have a Bow Luna. And in terms of the current party, I already covered it mostly, but as I said, only Leon and Luna were fully upgraded, right? Ulte Muller is sitting at 95%, so very close, but his gear was not exactly optimal. And then, other than that, you know, Egbert I actually did upgrade like crazy to increase his attack. So it's max, 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 9, 9, and no hard bond upgrades. Okay. Next, and then the other two are pretty far below, right? As I mentioned, Olivier, 60%, no access to his strength bond, and the hard bond is at a mere level 1. And then the last character in the party, or was that all of them? Olivier, Egbert, Ultimuller? Yeah, that was all of them. 5, right? Leon and Luna. And actually, the interesting thing is, I thought I might forget to disable the enemy passives that was applying unable to be healed debuffs on my party, but I never needed it. Never used it because I just kept cycling between Fireball and Dark Reaper. I'm curious if he has a third single target strike skill, and he does, the Lightning Strike, but it's in the Hermit class. So, unless you put runestones into him, not much good. But you know what? This Egbert with 2 out of 4 class mastery, granted he had full bonds on the attack, was still able to do dramatic damage due to the Hellfire Archers and his talent fixed damage. Enough for me to basically crush the enemy anyways. Once again, Kurama really has similar damage output if you use him, right? But that needs Kurama to be actually built up because, you know, for example, Demonic Plant, right? It deals 2 times Kurama's int in fixed damage. And then if you have, let's say, his AoE attack or whatever, the Rose Whip, Thorn Wheel, right? Enemies within 4 block radius takes 2 times int and fixed damage and so on. So he can work just as well as Egbert, right? But the problem is you'd have to draw for Kurama, whereas Egbert is free. And my Egbert power level was only 54 of 39, even with Luna's gear. Or Lana's gear. So that is kind of extreme. So now I'm just going to move the gear back to my Lana and get ready to do the other fight, the princess fight. So I'll do the princess fight in a separate video. Yeah, this battle was just much more challenging than I expected. Actually, or I should say, it was next to impossible using Pegasus Luna, but once I switched to a Bow Luna, it turned into a joke, right? So there we have it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.